guys, it's Anika from season 32 of The Real World, Seattle Bad Blood, and you're watching Instant Reaction TV with NyphenFreshh.
Welcome to Instant Reaction TV, where things get instant. I'm your host, NyphenFreshh, and thanks for tuning into today's show. What's your instant reaction? Today, we're here with the gorgeous, beautiful Anika from Real World Season 32 Seattle. Turn up! Hey, gorgeous!
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem. You look so gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's really sweet.
My God. Where are you right now?
I'm actually in Pennsylvania at my parents' house. I'm moving to LA the first week of January, so I'm spending a little time with them, a little bit longer during the holidays because I'm about to move cross country, so that's where I am this evening.
Oh, that is so nice. What are you moving to LA for?
Well, I'm originally from New York, so I actually live there, and but I want to kind of take this brand that I have and kind of take it to the next level. I want to turn it into a talk show. So I feel like going to LA is the next big step to do that. So that's where I'm going. Oh my gosh.
Excellent. Before we get into any of that, why don't you tell us your Zodiac sign, where you're from?
Yeah. So I love Zodiacs. Okay. So,
yes.
So this is the crazy thing. I'm really into Zodiacs, but my sign is a Scorpio. And I say that because I'm on the cusp of a Libra and a Scorpio. And I really do believe that I am my personality is the cusp. I think that I'm a little bit of a Libra, and I think that I'm a little bit of a Scorpio.
Oh, so you think that you're both in one?
Yes, I'm right on the cusp. And my birthday is the 22nd, so technically the 22nd and 23rd are the cusp days.
That's the perfect cusp. October 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right in the smack dab middle. That is so cool.
I love it.
Ah, you're so unique. So what's your ethnicity?
I'm African American, and I want to do one of those. What were they called? I think those those swab tests and everything, because I really don't know that much about my background, to be 100% honest with you.
Right.
But because a lot of my friends really are in tune with their background and history. But me and my family are actually all going to do that because none of us really know anything past me and my parents. So
yeah.
When I find that out, I'll share those on social media for y'all.
I'm asking because you have a very exotic look about you. You're very exotic looking.
Thank you. On my mother's side, we do have some Seminole Indian, but that's more in historic. So
right.
I just feel when you're in America, there's so many cultures now that just kind of melt together that you just never know how people are going to come out looking.
Exactly. No, that's definitely right. Now, Anika, we know you do have your own website. It's called AskAnika.com. We know that before you started Real World, you already had something going for yourself. You were a television host, and you do entertainment. Why don't you explain that?
So I always had an interest in acting. I dabbled in it when I was a little kid, and then when I got older, of course, I went the general route, I guess you can say, and I went to college, and I wanted to be an event planner and work in PR. But then I was like, you know what? I want to work for myself, and I want to be on TV. And then I was like, what's the best way I can do that? And I don't really want to be somebody else. I do like acting, but I want to be myself on TV. And I said, I want to be like Oprah. I want to be like Ellen.
Okay.
And then that's kind of where it went. And then from then on, I was just like, okay, I just got to start a brand first. Because I was like, how do you become a talk show host? How do you become big like them? And you just have to have an idea, have a brand, and have a nice solid platform and build it. And that's what I did. I knew that I was good at giving advice, so I started a website where I can give advice to people. And then it turned into lifestyle topics and reviews and restaurant reviews because I can cook. And then soon to be celebrity interviews. And then now I'm trying to basically package that all together and turn it into a show. So then hopefully you guys can see me having a nice little millennial version of an Oprah talk show.
Oh my goodness. Now, how long have you had your website? How long have you been doing this?
I would say my website is about 2 years old now. So it was something that that I've been working on prior to Real World, but I think that now with all the attention that I've been getting from the platform, this is the perfect time to kind of like shoot all my ideas out there and, you know, see where I can take them, because I've been meeting a lot of interesting people. So hopefully something comes up for me.
Well, I will say you definitely have the look, you definitely have the personality, so I definitely see you in Hollywood. So that's
Thank
definitely a
you.
good thing. Yes. Now, Miss Anika, have you watched any seasons of The Real World in the past?
I have, you know, I was like, you know, in high school, you know, watching Real World. I remember like Danny and Melinda, like that was my season. Like Real World Austin. Oh my god. Johanna, oh my god, I was obsessed with her. I thought she was gorgeous.
Oh,
Dustin and Heather, I loved them. I was into like Nani in that season too.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, then I kind of like started like dwindling off as I got older. And then when I applied, then I kind of like went back and watched like the last couple. So then I watched, you know, the Go Big or Go Home and the Skeletons, like all the twist seasons. And I was like, I know we're going to have a twist, so I better be ready.
So is it safe to say that you knew you were going to be on the show one day?
You know, I never had an aspiration to be on it, but when I got older, it was kind of like a good idea that I thought to like kind of levitate my brand. So I thought I was like, you know, this is a good idea. So then, and I was like, I'm 24. I'm like, it's a good time in my life to take that chance. So I just took the chance, applied, and then it just ended up going this far. And I honestly did not know it was going to get this far, but it's been a crazy ride.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So how did the apply process work? How did you audition for season 32?
Well, I actually just went on the MTV website, and then I just filled out like this humongous like application. It was like millions and millions of questions, and then they basically invite you to an open call. When you get to the open call, there's like, you think you're gonna be there with like maybe a few hundred people. There's like a couple thousand people,
Oh my god.
Thousands. And I'm in New York City. So just imagine all of the people coming from New York City that want to, like, and this is like the surrounding areas. So this is like New Jersey people, Connecticut people, Philadelphia people coming to New York to, you know, to do this.
The DMV.
And luckily I only had to wait for, I would say like, I was in and out within the hour, but we sat at, you know, big tables, and they basically gave us 10 seconds to sell ourselves. And if they liked us and they thought we were interesting within those 10 seconds, then they told us they would call us. And if we weren't, they would just not call us.
Oh my god, that is so... Did you say thousands of people?
Thousands. Oh my god, thousands.
Oh my god. So you went to the MTV website, you applied. Now, is this your first time applying for a reality TV show?
Yes, I've never... actually, no. I'm sorry. I applied for Are You the One? And then they contacted me, and then they told me to send in a video. And then I have an issue with, like, turning things in late. So I remember I responded, like, a month and a half later. And I was like, oh, can I still, like, make this video? And they're like, no, like, we've casted and, like, all this stuff. And I was like, oh, dang. And then, like, a year later, then I applied to the Real World. And then when they told me to make the video, I actually was like, okay, I guess I should make it.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool. So you did make the cut out of thousands of people. Miss Anika got chosen.
I know. I was so happy.
Yes, I'm so happy for you. So what would be your advice, for example, to people who want to do reality TV, maybe in the future, maybe Real World, if they don't get picked or something, what would be your advice to them to audition?
Well, I definitely think that when it comes to auditioning, one important factor is to definitely, like, you know, show your true colors. Just, you know, I'm not saying be somebody else, but use your personality and then just, like, kind of show that times 5. Just show the extra energy, because even if you're like a chill person, you can be chill, but show how chill you are, but then show how it attracts you to other people. You know what I mean? If you're like a really like friendly person or a quirky person, show that, but show it in a very crazy way. So that they kind of, because the thing is, that's what they want. You know, we're here to, you know, entertain at the same time. And the funny thing is, I thought that they were going to kind of ask us to be a little bit more crazier than we actually are, but the funny thing is they pick out people that have certain personality traits because they know that when they're in a house for that long with the same type, you know, with all the other people, they know that we're going to end up crazy anyway. So even for me, I'm a very chill person, but I ended up acting insane. Like I didn't have, you know, any sense at one point.
Well, it's reality TV.
Exactly. So, I mean, I would definitely tell anyone, you know, just always just be very yourself, but always show a lot of energy, because that's what they want. You know, they want to show that you have energy enough to entertain people and that you're honestly a little crazy.
Exactly. That's great. Now, did you let any of your family members know, any of your friends know that you were applying, or did you kind of do it secretly?
I did it secretly, but I mean, like my two best friends knew. But the thing is, I was very quiet about it. During the process, my family knew about it, but it was like my family and then my two best friends. I didn't want people to know because I'm not a person who likes to kind of like take pictures, like, hey, at the casting call, and then people ask me, well, what happened? It was just I didn't even tell people when I actually got it. I waited until the people.com article came out, and then I posted it, and then everyone that people haven't spoken to in like over like 15 years, guys, that I've like literally was like, I forgot that I even talked to you like when I was like in 3rd grade, like
wow.
Out of the woodwork, like family members that you never even thought would ever talk to you. Like it's crazy, and they come, and they definitely come in full force. I'm telling you, it's definitely a very crazy ride.
You know, I definitely think that's a smart way to do it because you definitely don't want to jinx yourself in the process. So waiting till that People article came out is definitely a great thing.
Exactly, because you never know. I mean, like I said, I've heard people get to like the very end of a process, and because of some weird reason, they just, I guess someone could have been sick, and then their partner couldn't be there, so you can't be on the show, and you never really know. So it's like you don't want to jinx yourself and kind of say that you're on something until it's like written in cement.
Very true. Now, Miss Anika, how did you find out that you made the cut?
So they actually called me, and the thing is, like I said, there were so many times that they would tell you that you haven't, they're going to tell you, then every single time you're on the phone, they don't tell you. And I thought this was just going to be another time that they were going to tell me that they needed more information about me. And then it actually was a call that I did, end up being a part of the cast. And I was with my best friend. And I was so happy. We like went straight to the liquor. We ran over there. We were like, "Hey, turn up, we're taking shots." I had to work that evening. I was like, "Fuck work!" Like I didn't care. Like it was like and then I actually did go to work like 4 hours later after I already drank. And then when I got to work, then I just like partied at work. It was a great day, and then I just didn't go after work.
Wow. Now, where were you working?
So at that time, I was about to move to LA. So that's the funny story. I was about to move to LA within like that month, and then so I got a hostessing job because I used to be a marketing manager at an event marketing company, and that took a lot of time. But because I started working for myself, I needed something that was like very small and flexible. So then I decided to take like a hostessing job. And then at the time, they were just like asking me to come in and do a few shifts. But I was just like, this is perfect. I'm only going to be here for a month, and then I'm going to move. But then Real World happened. So I only was there for like a good 2 weeks. But, it still was like a funny gig, for like the 2 week span that I was there.
All right. That's great. Now, how did your parents, did you let your parents know when you got the phone call that you made the cut?
Oh, yes. They were like probably like the second call that I called. And I always play with them. I'm always like, I called them and I said, oh, yeah, MTV called me, and they told me I didn't make it. And then they were like, they knew how much I wanted. So they were, like, on the phone, like, crying. And I was like, they told me they wanted somebody else. And then they were like, we're so sorry. And then, I was like, I'm joking. And then they, of course, was, like, laughing at me. Because we had to tape their reactions and send them in. Right. So I wanted to make them very entertaining for everyone to watch.
Oh, well, how cute, Anika. Now, is this your first time going to Seattle?
Yes, I've never been to Seattle before. It was my first time. And it's funny because everyone says it rains all the time, and it doesn't.
Really?
In one time for 1 hour, and it was light rain.
Even me, I thought that all Seattle did was rain. That's all I thought happened there.
No, wow. It's a myth, and that's the crazy thing. It's a myth, and like people really don't know, but it really does not rain. It's honestly really nice weather. It was 72 to 85 degrees the whole time. The people were nice. I mean, of course, you have your random,
right.
people, but everyone was nice and the scene was cool. It was like Brooklyn, but like a city that was Brooklyn.
Exactly. Now this is called Real World Season 32, Seattle. So going to Seattle and everything. I know the first people you met was Jordan and Mike. Now how was your reaction to seeing them?
Well, I mean, as you can see, when I first saw Jordan, when I first texted her, I thought it was a guy. So then I was like, oh my God, like, Jordan, I'm so excited. I'm about to meet a fine ass dude, like, whatever named Jordan. And then, of course, I'm, seeing the girl Jordan walk up and then Mike come up. And I just looked at Mike and he just didn't look like a Jordan to me. So I just kind of like knew that.
He sent you 4 words, texted you 4 words.
And I was like, that was just not a good judgment on my behalf. But you know, when I did first meet them, Mike also looked very familiar because I did watch Are You the One his season, so I knew immediately he was familiar. Then I asked him, he told me he was on Are You the One. And me and Jordan hit it off immediately because we just had a nice good vibe going.
Wow, how cool. Now, rewinding back a little bit, did you know that Real World Season 32 was going to be in Seattle?
I didn't. I mean, they have like those spoiler websites and those things online, but because I was so involved in the process, I kind of tried to stay away from it because I didn't want it to ruin any of like the surprises that they had for us. Because they even told us, they said, you know, people, they find out, you know, where these places are, and it kind of ruins it because, you know, that's the whole part of the experience. You want your general, you know, your genuine reaction, and I think that was very genuine when they told me I was going to Seattle because I had no idea.
Okay, great. What was your instant reaction when you saw Jordan?
When I saw Jordan, I was like, "Oh my God, another girl! She's so cute!" And then I saw Mike, and then I was like, "He looks familiar." And then when Jordan spoke, I also was just like, "You seem very young too," and that was another thing. The majority of the house, they were all like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was only me, Mike, and Anna, who was 25, 26, and I was basically, you know, 24, 25.
Exactly.
Like, that was, you know, you can definitely tell the energy levels, like, between the people who just turned 21 and, like, the 25 year olds or whatever. But I honestly thought she was a sweetheart. We hit it off, and honestly, we just got off the phone right before this. You know, we talk all the time.
Yeah,
she's my girl.
Oh, well, hi, Jordan. So after you meet Jordan and Mike, you guys, I believe you three were the first ones to the house?
We were the second ones because Katrina and Robbie got there first.
That's right. Katrina and Robbie got there first. So when you guys go to the house and you see Katrina and Robbie, what was your reactions of Katrina and Robbie?
Well, you know, my first reaction to Katrina, me and Katrina actually hit it off very, very quickly, like instantly, actually.
Okay.
And, like, probably within, like, the first, like, 5 minutes, to be honest with you, because the thing is, she reminds me of, like, just, like, there's a certain quality of her that reminds me of, like, you know, sorority girls from, like, you know, when I went to college, and I was in a sorority when I was in college, and I think that's kind of, like, we just... her and Jordan, they were okay, but they didn't really click at all, really. Like, maybe for the first week or so, but then it kind of just ended after that. And then me and Robbie, it took us a while. I would say it probably took until the bad blood came in for us to connect because we didn't have anything in common. So, but yeah, and then, you know, Theo and Tia came in.
Exactly, and we'll get to that. But when you first moved in, when you guys all first went to the house, are there certain places where you guys are not allowed to go, or things that we don't get to see on TV that actually they kind of edit out?
I mean, there were definitely, like, certain stairways. Like, when we first got to the house, you know, they don't tell you what to do. You're allowed to kind of, like, you're on TV, do what you want. You're living your life. So, you know, when you first get into a house, you're going to go and explore. So you're going to run all over the rooms. You're going to go up the stairs and down the stairs. There were some, like, you know, stairways that we tried to go through, and they would say, no, you can't, you know, someone would come out and be like, no, you can't go that way, or no, you can't do that. And it would just be because that's probably where production is, or, like, you know, other businesses and stuff like that. But, you know, they would, or, like, you know, they told us one time, we were, like, standing around, didn't know what to do, and they told us to go find the confessional. So then that's how we found the confessional. We had to go, and they gave us a clue, and that's how we stumbled upon that. But, you know, for the most part, the whole area you can go into, other than, like, the part you know production is. It's like the forbidden area. We just don't go there.
Okay, well said. Now, after Theo and Tiara came to the house, they were the last ones there. Everybody wanted them to room together. Now, I know Tiara was a little bit distant later that night. But what was your reaction of Theo and Tiara?
Well, when I first saw Theo and Tiara, honestly, I was shocked because I was like, 2 more black people? What? Like, I was like, this is... Okay, that was, I mean, I'm not going to lie, even in the beginning, like, everyone told me, you're most likely you're going to be the only black person. Then I saw Jordan, and I was like, okay, she's not white, so she's definitely a minority, you know, regardless of what she is. So I'm like, that's still unique. So I'm like, okay. Then I was like, if anything, then that's just going to be us. And then Theo and Tiara came to the door, and I was like, this is interesting. So, but then, you know, I didn't really... Theo was very friendly in general, but again, it took me about, you know, a little bit to connect with him because he was very, you know, around Tiara in the beginning. So for anyone other than Robbie, really, and Tiara, that's the people like Theo would be close with. And then with Tiara, she just kind of was just connecting with Theo.
Exactly.
And she didn't really want to connect with anyone else. And we definitely tried to include her, but it was definitely, I mean, I hope it was perceived that we definitely tried to include her, but she's just, you know, an introvert where you were extroverts, and sometimes she probably felt just uncomfortable being around people who were like extremely, you know, extroverted and had, you know, too much energy or whatever.
Right.
So she decided to recline, and that's why, you know, it became that issue.
Exactly. Now, when you met off the castmates, who was the most attractive guy to you out of everybody in the house? Anybody?
I thought that Theo and Robbie were cute.
Theo and Robbie, you have to choose one.
Dang. They're both so cute.
Okay, I'll let you choose both.
Okay, and I mean, Robbie knows. I want to. Damn, I was gonna say like, you know, it'll be like also easier. Like, you know, Robbie used to be taller, but like Robbie's short, you know. But yeah. Theo's cute too. But then Theo can sometimes be a player too. So that's what I'm saying. You got to combine the two.
Yeah. So,
but if you combine the two, they'd be a perfect guy right there.
Real? Oh, so combine Rob and Theo together. You get your
because we got the family man, you know, and then we got like, you know, the lovable, friendly guy. Like, so characteristics and looks wise, I feel like they would make a nice, good one man thing.
So if you had to choose two people who you were vibing with, there was no awkwardness, you guys were vibing 100%. Who would those two people be at this point?
Dang, you always give me two, and then I want to say an extra person.
No, two.
Okay, because I would say definitely Jordan and Theo, because I talk to them the most.
Okay.
I talk to them like on the phone a lot, so them two definitely.
Okay, and you guys did go out later that night, which we were talking about. Now, who chooses where you guys get to go and party? Do you guys get to choose yourself, or does production choose where you guys get to go?
Well, the thing about that is that we are only approved to go to certain locations that they cleared, because it has to be approved for like lighting, camera, sound, you know, all the crew to be in there, a place for us to be, and all that type of stuff, security, all that. So they do look into these places, and then they give us a clear list, and then we can decide based off that list where we want to go.
Okay.
So we have choices, but it's choices based off of what they give us.
Exactly.
You know, clear, and that's with food too. So with food, with like activities, they always, you know, we can even look up places. If we want to do something, we look up the place, we send them an email. They have to clear it first, and sometimes they say no, sometimes they say yes, and then that's where we decide to go.
Okay, well said. Now, you guys did go to the club, and you guys partied and everything, and I know earlier you said Tiara was an introvert. She was really distant, and I know even that day when you guys went back to the house, you guys started playing a game where Miss Anika had to run around. She got there streaking, but oh my gosh. But in order for you to run around the streak, Rob had to bite Theo on the lip. So explain that whole game to us, and what did we get to see everything that really went down?
No, honestly, like I feel like there was a lot more dares that happened. You know, that and it was more so. I feel like they definitely also built it up to be a lot bigger than it really was. It was just a funny little game, right. And they tried to make it look like, you know, Robbie was like going like crazy. Like it was not like, you know what I mean? Like it was not that big of a deal. But then there was like a striptease. We did like body shots and stuff like that. But like they didn't show any of that because clearly the only part they wanted to show was me running around naked and Robbie, you know, flipping out over getting his, you know, lip bit by Theo. And I mean, honestly, it was all out of like love and fun. Me and Jordan literally sat at the computer and we were like, let's think of some really funny, weird, like things to do that will make, you know, just break the ice. Because, you know, everyone's just kind of like just drinks all the time and no one really talks about anything that's deep. And clearly no one's in the mood yet, so let's just still have fun. So then we just had to make the game a nice, fun game. And, you know, we all like sat around like the table and I was like, you know, not telling people what the clues were. I was just telling everyone that it's going to be a really fun game. And like everyone was getting along with it. But then when Tia started having an issue with it, then that's when like I feel like everyone started to see it in a negative way.
Exactly. So when Tia was having the issue, I know Jordan and Theo, they actually went to the confessional room, but they didn't know that Tia was behind the couch. And Tia claimed, she got really mad. She said that they were gossiping about her and she doesn't trust you. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like she was justified in feeling that way?
Yeah, no, I think that she just I think she was very angry. I think that at the time she was new, she didn't connect with any of us yet. And she had something for Theo, and I think she just mistook Theo and Jordan's really like friendship as maybe something more because they were just hanging out, and I think she just didn't feel like she had anyone's back, and I just felt like she didn't have anyone there. And Theo who usually is the person for her, is not currently with her right now. He's with another female in the house. So I don't think that really made her feel that good. So I don't think that they were talking shit. I don't think that there was any negative things that she was saying. She was saying, I see that some girls play the game and some people don't, and that's just the truth. But then Tia took it that way because I think she also was kind of very overdramatic in that situation. And she knew that she was overdramatic, and she says it all the time. So I mean, she knows that she'll claim it. She knows that she'll look back on the situation and she'll be like, "Wow, like I was a little crazy for that."
Exactly. And I noticed you in the house. You were a very fun girl. You try to remain very positive. Now, are you usually the confrontational type? Were you the type to get in fights in maybe high school or any type of confrontational, or are you the one that's always trying to diffuse the situation?
I'm always a diffuser. I do get in arguments. I'm not a fighter physically ever. You'll never see me doing that because that's not what I do. But I have gotten in arguments. I don't know if they'll show the arguments that I've gotten into in the house, so I can't even really say until the season's over. But there was pretty big ones that I actually were in with two of the guys in the house actually. So I'm surprised that they actually haven't shown it. But then again, I think that they may be waiting to show that towards the end, so we will see. I think that they may be waiting for the end for that one. Just a little surprise, but yeah, I definitely think that I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I definitely think that they definitely could have showed more, just to get a better sense of like certain situations, but they decided to cut some things out just depending on the certain storylines that they were going with at the time.
Okay, now how did you feel about Mike in the house? He was doing a lot of instigating. He was doing a lot of drama, which some people would argue drama is good for TV, so he was actually making it entertaining, but other people would argue that he's causing division in the house. So what would be your take on what he was doing?
I mean, Mike knew he was an instigator. I told him he was an instigator. We had a fight over him being an instigator. But the thing about it is that, at least in my opinion, I think I have a really good ability to read people, and I don't think that Mike is a bad person, and I don't think he's a horrible person, and I don't think he has a bad heart. I think he just says dumb things. I think he sometimes is just very stupid and ignorant, and the fact that he's willing to acknowledge that, I mean, that's a lot more than a lot of other people can say. So, I mean, as me getting to know him as well as I did in that setting, I got to know him very well, and I don't think that he's a vicious person. I think he just doesn't think sometimes, he just does not think until shit hits the fan. So that's where his ignorance comes into play. He doesn't really even know he's doing it until it's over, until something happens, until someone's buttons are pushed, or until someone wants to fight, and then he's like, oh crap, I didn't realize that's what I was doing. But I hope that he definitely looks back on the world and recognize his faults, and I think he's definitely learning.
Okay, great. So would you say at this point in time you were pretty much still cool with everybody in the house? No, you didn't dislike anybody, really?
No, I mean, honestly, even me and Will, we don't speak, but I don't hate him. We just don't speak. And yeah, I don't hate anyone, so there's no issues with me and anyone.
Okay, great. And you did just mention Will, which is the direction we're about to go. Bad Blood. Now, Miss Anika, this season will be Bad Blood. How in the heck did the producers know who to bring to the house? Did you guys have to fill out papers of who your enemy was for any possibilities, or how does that whole thing work?
Well, honestly, I didn't even know how that was. I didn't really put things together until it was kind of happening in the show. When we were doing the interview process, they just said, do you have any issues with anyone? Do you have any bad histories or fights? Is there anyone you don't get along with? List those people, any friends that you don't talk to anymore, stuff like that. So then those are the people they reached out to. So if they would have, I thought it was, it could have been exes, but it wasn't. It was, anyone you had an issue with. So then they did write those names down. They called them, reached out to them, and they told them they were going to be on Road Rules, and they weren't. They were going to be on our show.
Right.
So that's how that ended up happening.
Oh my gosh. Now, they were off the bad blood. They met at a different place, of course, like you said. They met in Portland. Then they came to the house later, and I know Will was close. Now you and Will had a relationship.
Yes.
He got another lady pregnant, and he was friends with your brother.
No. Like I feel like MTV, and that's why I'm a little upset because they did not portray my story. Like no one understands it, and I feel like I have to explain it. So basically, I dated Will for 3 years, over 4 years ago. So that was like when I was like 19, and over that time period, my brother became friends with Will. So he became friends with him after I dated him. And then after me and Will broke up, they decided to continue their friendship. And then I just told my brother, this is hard for me. I'm talking to other guys. I want to bring him home, but Will's always here. And then my brother decided to cut his friendship off with Will. And Will found it offensive. And he kind of got mad at me and my brother over it. And then we just all stopped speaking. And the next time I saw him, he was in the werewolf house.
Okay. So how would you say that the bad blood and everything? Now, when they were coming to the house, did you guys know that they were going to be at the house? Because you guys were just so sure that they were going to be there.
I mean, we had an idea that something was going to happen. We knew that something was going on because the thing is, realistically, with the seasons that were already coming out previously, we knew that there was going to be some type of twist. And then after the first week, after we got past that, hey, nice to meet you, this is what our process was like, we started talking about our actual interview process. And then we started talking about how everyone had to give up names of people they didn't get along with. And then everyone's story started matching. And then we started kind of putting it to pieces like ourselves. So then we started saying something's about to happen. Some people had more information than other people. I didn't talk to Will, so I really didn't know how much information, was going on. Some people, Katrina knew a lot more because her sister was the bad blood, and her sister were talking. So she was able to tell us more information. So we were basically little detectives all in there trying to figure out what was going on. And we kind of knew.
Exactly.
Up until the day of. Everybody was kind of like, I was the one that was kind of like, okay, guys, we always guess. We always think it's this. But everyone knew it was that day, and it was.
Okay, perfect. Now they all came to the house, and of course, people had different relationships. People had different vibes. A lot of you guys didn't talk to each other. Will didn't speak to you. You guys weren't really meshing at that point. Now, how would you say the bad blood changed the dynamics of the house or the vibe?
I mean, it definitely changed it so much because, it's sad because I was saying how when we first, that day that we went to the zoo, it was a great day. It was, probably like it was after the first 2 weeks, we kind of got through all the fights. Tiara was kind of finally opening up and, wanted to be around the group, and everyone was just good and no arguments. We were like, wow, this is going to be a great season. No one's going to argue. We're going to talk about real life, things that matter, no drama. And of course, we come home that day, and that's when all shit changed. Everyone was too busy trying to deal with their own stuff that they didn't have time to really deal with, aggressively growing these relationships that we normally were trying to have if it was just the 7 of us. So now everybody was in their own world. Everybody was kind of pairing off, and, people started to get, anxiety. People were sad. It was just such a mess.
Who do you think had the worst bad blood out of all of you guys? Who had the worst story? Who was the most crazy? If you had to choose.
I mean, I think it was clear that Theo and Cassius had the strongest storyline between them because their anger towards each other and their hatred towards each other was definitely very deep rooted, and it was taken very seriously because they still have those issues to this day. So I would say them because everyone else either just doesn't care to talk to their bad blood because it's not significant, but the family thing is a very deep rooted thing.
Okay. So, after this whole experience with the whole bad blood and anything, is there anybody else's bad blood that you feel kind of rubbed you the wrong way? Did anybody disrespect you? Or was anybody cold towards you?
I mean, honestly, to be 100% honest, and he is, I'm sure, aware of this, me and Cassie didn't really get along that much, during our time in the house. And, I mean, that was Theo's bad blood, but, I mean, him and my bad blood, so Will and Cassie, they got along very well. They had, they were two peas in a pod, but it was fun. And me and Theo were as well. But, Theo didn't get along with Cassie as I didn't really get along with him. So, for me, he wasn't one of my favorite people now.
Exactly. Okay. So how would you say this whole season and everything? I know you guys started filming on about approximately June 30th, 2016, and you ended filming in August. Now, how would you say this changed your whole life and your view on how you view things?
I mean, I definitely feel like I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about other people, how to approach people in certain situations, how to deal with people, deal with myself. Honestly, I feel like I learn more every single day. I learned a lot about myself when I was in the house. I learned a lot watching myself on TV, and I'm sure when it's off the air, it's going to be a whole nother lesson of how to adapt to life, when it's not even on air anymore. So, I mean, I learn new things every single day, and I think my life has changed in the way of just giving me more of a platform to pursue my dreams and my brand. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it and see what I can do with it. I'm not going to let this opportunity go to waste.
Beautiful. Now, describe the season in one word.
There's a good word for it, so I need a second to think because I can't just give it any word.
All right.
I would say. I would say. Attention seeking.
Attention seeking.
Yes.
Okay, attention seeking. Great.
I'm gonna say that because I feel we, because we are in a house of 14 people, it felt like we were 14 kids that were trying to get the parents' attention, meaning the producers. So it's kind of some kids didn't really care for the attention, some kids did. So I felt like it was definitely a lot of people in the house that had very big egos for sure. So we had a very ego-driven cast for sure this season.
Okay, now we're gonna play a quick game. It's called Would You Rather.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh, are you down?
I'm down.
Okay. Would you rather, let's see, Jordan or Katrina?
Katrina, I love you, but Jordan was my girl, so Jordan, I choose you.
Theo or Rob?
Dang, they're both my boys, but me and Theo talk more, so Theo, I choose you. And he's my challenge buddy.
Oh my God, we're going to get to that. Robbie or Mike?
Robbie, I mean, that's when, we had a thing in the house that he was my boy too, so I would choose Robbie, but I love you too, Mike, because we had our thing. So.
Tia or, let me give you a good one, Tia or Cassie?
Oh, that's easy, Tia. Because me and Tia had our issues, randomly, but, we definitely worked past it, and, I'm really happy about it. Me and Cassie, there was never really anything, I guess, to work out at the end of the day, because you work out things with people who you're actually going to continue to talk to and have friendships with, but sometimes you end experiences and you're just these people go their way, you go your way, and that's kind of how we are. We're cordial, but we don't really speak. So me and Tia, we actually do stay in contact and talk, and from time to time we check in on each other.
So who do you talk to? Who are you closest to after the show? It sounds like Jordan, of course, Theo, and
Lana. I talk to her a lot. I love that girl. She's so positive. Who else do I talk to? Kim, randomly. I wish I would talk to her more. And then Katrina, she definitely calls me up and we have those random hour-long conversations. And Tia, definitely we have those little random conversations too. And then everyone else we dabble in, randomly I'll talk to Jen, and randomly I'll talk to Anna, but on a daily basis it's more of Lana and Jordan and Theo.
Okay, beautiful. Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna, all day, every day.
Okay, MTV or VH1?
I gotta say MTV because they're the ones who got me here, so MTV.
Okay, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry, Donald. What the?
Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton?
Barack, all day, every day. I love you, and I'm so sad that he cannot be president for another 4 years.
I know. Do you watch any shows like the Bad Girls Club or anything like that, or?
Yeah, the funny thing is, there's actually a girl from my high school, a year younger than me or a grade younger than me, that's on the season that just came out, or that's on the season that's out now.
Oh, who?
The girl with the red hair, Adrienne Rose.
Oh.
Adrian Ryan Rose or something like that. I don't really know her exact name, but she's the one with the red hair. And I just thought it was so funny. I was like, oh my god, she's like, the girl who was like in the year younger than me. I didn't even know until someone brought it up to me. But
cool.
I guess year of reality TV for my high school.
Oh, that is so cool. Did you guys ever talk or anything like that?
Oh, and I really didn't know of her until my friends brought her up, but I just thought it was just a funny fact, we're both out on 2 shows, that are on 2 big networks at the same season, the same year. We were only a year apart. So, eventually I'll reach out to her now that I'm aware that, we were only a year apart, but I just thought it was so interesting.
Now, you did say you're going to be on the challenge, and your partner is Theo. Now, I know you can't say anything because it hasn't aired yet. Have you guys even started filming yet?
We have. The filming is already been done and it's over. So now we're just waiting for it to come out.
Are you guys allowed to talk about the cast or about any veterans that might be on the show?
We can't, unfortunately. All I can say is that it's definitely going to be an interesting season.
Well, I may say that I'm really excited to see you on the show. I wish you nothing but success, and I hope that you become a household name.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and that is the goal. So hopefully you do see that in the future. And I really appreciate you having me on your show. This was so much fun, and you had really great questions.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to tell your fans before we end this interview?
Yes, I just want to tell everyone thank you so much for, your loving support. And I can't wait till you see me on the challenge. And if you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing, follow me on my social media networks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Nika Rashaun. You can also go to www.askanika.com where you'll see all of my updated lifestyle videos. And Ask Anika TV is also coming soon. And you can also have everything linked to that page as well. So keep up to date and check me out.
Well, there you have it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to my interview with the beautiful Anika from Real World Season 32 Seattle Turn Up. Don't forget to check her out on the new Roll the Rules Challenge. Do you know when it's going to air?
I don't, but hopefully I think it's going to be within the beginning of next year for sure.
Okay, perfect. Check Anika out at askanika.com. Follow her social media listed below. And thank you so much for tuning into our interview. It's been nothing but fun. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you.